All right, so it's been a while since I've uploaded for this channel, but yeah, the New York Mets really have not had much to talk about, to be completely honest, as this has been a slow offseason, especially compared to what we've seen recently. But yeah, the Mets did go out and make two signings today. Not a superstar like Andy Martino tweeted earlier on in the day, because early in the day we got a tweet from Martino saying that the Mets were going to be active in getting a deal done today with a player. He didn't know who, but he said it wasn't going to be a superstar player. And sure enough, it was not a superstar player at all, as they actually signed two players today. One of them being Luis Severino, and then we saw later on him tweet the Mets are working towards another deal with another player. We were like, okay, who is it going to be this time? Is it going to be Erod, since we've heard reports about that? I didn't think it was going to be anyone big named, but it ended up being Joey Wendle. So I'm going to give my thoughts and break this down. Before we do, leave a like on the video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Met fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live on the channel. But right off the rip, I'm not to the moon about either of these signings, if we're being completely frank. Like, I don't think there's anything to be overly excited about with either of these signings. You have Luis Severino. We'll start with him. Could he be a good signing? Perhaps. Perhaps he could be. Last year was, how do we put this? Horrific. Horrific. He wasn't necessarily healthy all year, which, by the way, is the thing for Luis Severino. He has not been fully healthy for a season, making 30 plus starts since 2018, which you could argue was his last respectable season. Well, at least he's played fully. But yeah, 2023 last year, he had a 6.65 ERA, an expected ERA at 5.96, a FIP at 6.14, an expected FIP at 4.83, a negative .6 WAR. So yeah, and his Ks per nine, 7.96, his walks per nine, 3.43. Big yikes. Home runs per nine, 2.32. Big yikes. So yeah, he has not been good. But the good news is, if you go to his 2022 season, where he had the same amount of games, 19 starts, where last year he had 18. I guess he went in the bullpen for a bit. But yeah, in 19 games, 19 starts. In 2022, he had a 3.18 ERA, a 2.94 expected ERA, a 3.70 WHIP, a Ks per nine at 9.88, a walks per nine at 2.65. So the main problem I have is this rotation over the past few years has struggled with innings. They've struggled with innings, whether it be Max Scherzer getting hurt, whether Justin Verlander did not make an appearance until like May, the end of May or June, whatever it was, whether it's Carlos Carrasco, which, by the way, reeks of Carlos Carrasco 2.0, this signing with more velocity. And then you have as well Jose Quintana, who didn't make a start until July. This team has lacked innings over the past few years, has been their Achilles heel. Jacob deGrom, too, of course, we can mention as a guy who never stepped foot on the mound, really. For a team starving for innings, it shocks me that they went this route to go with Luis Severino, even if the upside is there and he somehow goes back to what he once was. Can you say for certain you're going to be able to pencil him in for 100 innings? I can't count on it. I can't count on it. Like, even 100 innings, that should be like a given for a starter. The fact that you can't pencil him in for that is a problem. And the fact that he was one of the worst pitchers, sucked in first innings like Carrasco, always hurt like Carrasco. Again, the only difference between the two really was the velocity last year. Luis Severino's velocity is at least there. If you look at his Savant page, it's all in the blue except for fastball velocity. And then 2022, I get it, there's more red there if you look at that, but still, I just have major concerns with the signing because of the fact that this team, I feel like, needs innings. Now, don't get me wrong, if they add more starting pitching help and they get more depth, then fine, like, you could take this type of risk, but you need to at least get more rotation depth. Like, even getting, I don't know, like, say they get two more starters, and then you have your rotation as Senga, blank spot, and then it's Quintana, Severino. I don't feel necessarily that comfortable with that because Quintana's even a guy that usually, like, I could be wrong, but I think he's been a guy that has had injury troubles outside of last year too recently. Like, yeah, I mean, that's another guy when they signed him too. It was like, is he going to even be healthy? He's been a guy that doesn't stay healthy regularly either. Then you have Severino. You need to add more guys in the back of the rotation depth because Peterson's going to miss part of next season. You have as well questions: is Jose Budo going to move the needle? Is Tyler McGill going to move the needle? I don't know, but they need more rotation help and they need to go balls to the wall. There was a report that they were potentially going to be in on, that they are still in on Yamamoto, and then there was another starting pitcher. I forgot which starting pitcher it was that they're supposedly in on. I think it was Eduardo Rodriguez, and then there was another starter, but they need all the rotation help they could get. That's the biggest issue, but I don't know. I'm feeling mixed about the Severino deal, but to me, it's more of a lateral move. And speaking of lateral moves, that's what the Joey Wendle one is to me. Nothing but a lateral move. You pretty much get Luis Guillorme here with a worse glove. Like, that's really all it is. And don't get me wrong, his glove has been decent in the past with his OAA, but at the same time, why move on from Luis Guillorme, who's younger, instead to bring in Joey Wendle, who virtually is the same exact player? Same thing with left-handed bat, doesn't wear batting gloves, and plays all over the infield. Like, I don't know if this is a needle mover, and I know it's not supposed to be. It's a versatility bench bat, but a guy that had a 47 WRC plus last year, 84 the year before, has not had a 100 WRC plus since 2021. And by the way, in that, did not play every game that season. 136, fine, but then played 50 in the shortened season, had 117. And then you go back to 2019, 73. I don't know. To me, this is a lateral move, and maybe you prefer him over Guillorme, but I just feel they could have done better for the bench. I'm not going to be too critical. I'm not going to be too over the top about this, but I'm not big on either of these signings. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see. We'll see. Let me know your thoughts, though, in the comment section down below. Would love to hear from you guys. Don't forget to leave a like on the video if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Met fans. Turn on your notifications so you know I upload or go live next, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's go, Mets.